What's up YouTube, this is Sean. I am back again, and in this video we are going to be working on IronMan Mk 50, or was it 48? Either way, it's from Infinity Wars, and a lot of you guys have been asking for this, and figured it's about time I do it. So I've already got all my patterns cut out, and I'm tracing out the chest piece. Notice that I'm going to trace one side and then flip the pattern over and trace the other side. That way I'm only cutting out one big piece. I don't have to glue down the middle, and yeah, just kind of makes things a little bit easier. The reason why I don't make it one whole piece in the template is so that way I can save you guys on paper when you're printing it out. So just remember, anytime there's a straight line and it's in a center line somewhere, then you can always merge the patterns together before you cut them out. That way, you know, you got just one less seam to glue together. Alright, so as far as these lines right here, I already cut this line right here in an inward angle, and the other line was just a straight cut. Now when you glue it together, it'll help form a little bit better. And here are all the pieces for the chest piece. Now the lower rib area I did cut in 6mm foam, and the chest piece I cut in 8mm foam, and this is so that way the foam thickness will stagger and give it a cool effect. Now you don't necessarily have to go with the exact foam thickness that I'm using. You can actually use 8mm all the way around. I think that might look good, or you can go with 6mm all the way around. Now it may be a little flimsy, but it's possible. And now I'm going to attach this V-neck piece to the top of the chest. I never realized that Iron Man wears a V-neck until now. So far the chest piece is looking pretty groovy. Now it's time to go in and put on some velcro, because, well, we gotta figure out how to keep these things together. I'm gonna spread out some contact cement all around the inner parameter of the V-neck, and this is so that way it attached to the back piece and help make it somewhat adjustable. And I try to do this before I do any painting or sealing. That way I know there's no overspray or paint on top of the surface of the foam, and the contact cement will definitely hold on to the velcro. Now I'm going to apply some heat so I can close the pores of the foam. As you can see, it's starting to turn into this luster, and this will help make the paint not soak into the foam, and also makes it look better. Now I'm gonna also form the chest a little bit using my PVC cup. Bang! We're pretty much done with the chest piece, and so far it's looking pretty groovy. Let's move along to working on the back side. And here are all the pieces for the back. It is looking really crazy and hectic, but once we get it all together, it'll all start to make sense. There are some pieces that are cut in inward angles, and this is one of them. Now I do specify in the templates where to cut in angles and straight cuts, so you'll want to follow the directions on the templates itself, because sometimes I'll get it mixed up when I do my voiceovers. I'll say one thing, then I'll mean another in the template. So video is basically a walkthrough on the assembling process. But I will tell you, one of these edges are cut in an inward angle. That way when you glue it together, it'll give you this really cool bevel effect on the trapezoid area. I don't think I said that right, but yeah. And here are some accents for the back, which were cut in inward angles and glued together, and it's supposed to like stick out somewhat like that. I'm going to join the smaller pieces together just like this, and then once I get the smaller pieces put together, I will join it to the larger piece, and this will be one side of the back. And you basically do the same thing for the other side, just in a reversed not necessarily reversed, but a mirrored, yes, That's what I meant. You would just do everything mirrored to this side. Now I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. I would like to mention that the center back piece, this piece right here, is actually 8 millimeters, and this collar piece right here is 6 millimeters. And like I said before, you don't have to really go with the suggested foam thickness, but if you want it to look like mine, then yeah, you can just do this. But you can use whatever you have. I mean, that's entirely up to you. Just keep in mind that the thicker the foam, then the smaller it'll be. Well, not necessarily smaller, but it'll be a little bit tighter on you. So just remember that whenever you pick your foam thickness. All right, because of course, you know, the thicker foam would make the inner dimensions of the suit a little bit smaller. And if you're using a thinner foam, then it would be a little bit flimsier, but also looser too. So yeah, just keep that in mind whenever you decide on which foam you decide to go with. Now that I have both sides assembled and married together, it's time to go through and add on the strapping. Now I could go in there and finish up those additional accents in the back right there, and I might have forgot, but I eventually went back and did that part, but I don't think I got it on video. So I took some scrap material, and you don't necessarily need to use scrap if you don't have any this big, but I went in and cut it out and applied some contact cement. Now this is going to go underneath the edge of the I guess the collar area, and I'm going to apply some velcro. Now whenever I apply velcro onto armor, I like to put the hook side on the side that's facing outward, that's going to get painted on, rather than putting the loop side facing out, because I don't want to get paint on that. It'll affect how it sticks together. So I will usually put the loop side facing inward and the hook side facing out. Now I'll only do this if the armor is going to attach to another foam armor, then yeah, you want to use that configuration. Now if you're attaching the foam armor to the under armor, then you're going to want to sew the loop velcro onto the fabric under armor. This will be a lot more comfortable and you'll be able to wash it. But you're only going to need to sew loop velcro onto the under armor, where you're going to hold up your thigh armor and your biceps and your abdominal, just so that it doesn't slip in the future video when I get to that part. Here are the patterns for the neck piece. Now in a previous IronMan build, I did make the neck piece a separate piece, and it was more hassle than it was worth because it kept flopping around. On this version, I decided to go ahead and integrate it into the back piece. It won't flop around whatever, and it'll stay in one spot. Now it will make it a little uncomfortable when you're trying to do like backflips and stuff like that, but try not to do backflip when you're wearing the Iron Man suit. And I use a thinner material out there, that way it's a little more flexible, just because you want it to be comfortable and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the back and the chest piece of the IronMan Mark 50, and this is how it looks like with the abdominal piece. And yeah, I'll cover that in the next video. I did spray on a few coats of plasti dip just to make everything look uniformed, and of course, you know, that's what I use to prime my foam before I go into the painting process. Here's a nice shot of the rear end, or the back side of the Iron Man. It's looking pretty legit, and here's a sneak preview on what it'll look like once it's all put together with the arm pieces. So far, so groovy, and I'm digging what I'm cooking. I hope you're digging it too. And if you're into this kind of stuff, I mean, if you're really into it, then check the link in the description down below. It'll take you to the template so you can get started on your own IronMan Mark 50. And don't forget to like and comment, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed, and make sure you follow me on my Facebook and Instagram. And feel free to tag me with your build process pictures. and stuff like that. It could be based off my templates. It could be whatever you're doing. I'd like to see what you're up to too. And I guess that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.